And that's a wrap. The Eurobike 2023 is over, and 5 days of intensive networking left me with millions of different impressions. So I wanted to briefly summarize some of my main learnings. Obviously, I was looking to understand better what the challenges are in digitalization, specifically in procurement and supply. So here are the top 3 things that I learned. Number 1, everyone is talking about digitalization, but if you look behind the curtains, we can see that there's still a lot of room for improvement. It really doesn't matter if you're looking at procurement or supply. There is a lot that can be done, whether it's supply chain processes, bill of material management, or customer support. There's still more to do. And that brings me to my learning number 2. Digitalization is painful, and there's 2 reasons for it. Number 1, until now, the way that things have been done has worked. So sending a fax to order your materials has worked. Managing your bill of materials in Excel has worked. Sending hundreds of emails and doing handshake agreements has worked. But I think the question really is, how well has it worked? And is that the future-proof way to go forward? You can imagine, I obviously say no. We spoke to a few different experts in the field, and we saw how much business are suffering from not having data available. You can't do forecasting, you can't do analysis, and you don't really understand your costs, your supply chain, or your procurement stand. So really, we think that data is the best way forward to have compliance, to have sustainability, and cost-effective supply chains. And then there's digitalization is hard, number 2. It's not just about processes that have worked in the past, it's also about upskilling people to actually use the new digital tools. If you've done what we've done for the past 10 to 20 years and you're an expert in your field, why should you do it differently? What is there in the data that could do your job better? It's obviously a sore point, and it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of time, and it takes a proper implementation plan to do so. But it's all obviously not as grim as I just made it out, and that's my learning number 3. There's so many exciting initiatives, startups, scale-ups who are going into this space and establishing what I call the data chain and cycling, a new vertical that is really looking at how data can help the micromobility industry and specifically cycling to grow and be more competitive. It was amazing to meet all these different entrepreneurs and talk about how we can work together. But the key question here is, how are the big players, the traditional players, the companies that have been in the market for the past decade going to react and adopt these solutions? And I guess that's what I want to end on. In order to drive industrial transition, in order to make our industry future-proof, just think about using AI or machine learning for your processes. And in order to introduce data-driven sustainability, we need to digitalize, and especially in supply chain.